All right, we are now in our last chapter, chapter 10. I know I'm excited. I hope you guys are. Let's get started. All right, so our objectives, we're talking about cleaning and sanitizing. Different methods of sanitizing and how to make sure they are effective. How to clean, or how and when to clean and sanitize surfaces. How to wash items in a dishwasher or 3-compartment sink and then store them. And how to use and store cleaning tools and supplies. And how to develop a cleaning program. All right, cleaners must be stable, non-corrosive, and safe to use. When using them, we want to follow the manufacturer's instructions and do not use one type of detergent in place of another unless the intended use is the same, meaning we can't use stuff to wash the floor with to wash the dishes. We talked about that before, and I know when we're talking about cleaners and sanitizers, we want to make sure that we have our MSDS sheets as well. All right, now we're talking about sanitizing. That is on page 10.2. So let's get started with that. All right, let's get there we go, back in focus. All right, surfaces can be sanitized using either heat. So the water must be, if we're going to do heat sanitizing, it must be 171. And we want to immerse the item for 30 seconds. And then, of course, we have our chemicals. We have chlorine, iodine, and quartz. All right, and now sanitizing with chemicals. We want to do food contact surfaces can be sanitized either by soaking them in sanitizing solution. We want to rinsing, swabbing, or spraying them with sanitizer solution. In some cases, a detergent sanitizer a blend can be used once to clean, and then we want to do it a second time to sanitize. So that's if it is like a detergent and sanitizer mix. So the first time we're going to use it as the cleaner or the detergent. Second time we're going to use it as the sanitizer. All right, concentration for our chemical sanitizers. Sanitizers should be mixed with water to the correct concentration. Not enough sanitizer may make solutions weak and useless, and too much may make solution too strong and be unsafe and corrode metal. All right, we want to check concentration with a testing kit like they have in the corner right here. We want check concentration with a test kit. We want to make sure it is designated for the sanitizer used, and we want to check the concentration often and change the solution when it's dirty or the concentration becomes too low. All right, our temperatures, we want to follow the manufacturer's recommendations for the correct temperature, because it can be some sanitizers are hot water and some are cold. So we want to make sure that we're following whatever it is the manufacturer's guide sets. Okay, and then contact time. The sanitizer must make contact with the object for a specific amount of time. Minimum times differ for each sanitizer, which we're going to get into now. And let's talk about the water hardness and pH. We want to find out what our water hardness and pH is from your municipality, and then work with your supplier to identify the correct amount of sanitizer to be used, because everybody's pH level and the water hardness of their water hardness in each facility is different. All right, so now we're going to talk about our guidelines for the effective use of sanitizers. So when we're talking about chlorine, the water needs to be at least 100 degrees, in between 100 to 75 degrees, or 75 to 100 degrees. I know this word I went backwards. The pH of the water needs to be 8 to 10 on the pH. The water hardness, as per manufacturer's recommendation, sanitizing concentration is 50 to 99 ppm. And our sanitizing contact time for chlorine is 7 seconds. All right, now let's talk about iodine. Our water temperature needs to be 68 C, and that's on the colder side. The water pH must be 5 or as per manufacturer's recommendation. Our water hardness, same thing as for chlorine, per manufacturer's recommendations. Our sanitizing concentration range can be 12.5 to 25 ppm, and sanitizer contact time needs to be at least 30 seconds. And then for quats, we have 75 degrees for the water temperature. For the water pH, it's per the manufacturer's recommendation. Water hardness needs to be 500 ppm or as per manufacturer's recommendations. The sanitizing concentration range, of course, as per manufacturer's recommendations, and the sanitizer contact time is 30 seconds. All right, now let's talk about how to clean and sanitize. And that is on page 410. All right. So the first step in how to clean and sanitize, we want to scrape or remove food bits from the surface. Then we want to wash the surface. Then we want to rinse our surface, and then sanitize the surface, and then allow the surface to air dry. All right, food contact surfaces must be clean and sanitized after they are used, before working with a different type of food, anytime a task was interrupted, and items may have been contaminated, and after 4 hours if the items are in continuous use. Let's talk about cleaning and sanitizing equipment. First thing you always want to do when you come to cleaning and sanitizing any equipment that we have, we want to unplug the equipment. We want to take the removable parts off the equipment, wash, rinse, and sanitize them by hand, or run the parts through the dish machine if allowed. We want to scrape or remove food from the equipment surface and then wash the equipment surfaces. Then we want to rinse the equipment surfaces with clean water and then sanitize the equipment surfaces. We want to make sure sanitizer comes in contact with each surface. Then we want to allow all the surfaces to dry, and then of course we want to put the unit back together. Once our unit is back together, that is when we can plug it back in. All right, cleaning in place equipment. So that's things like our slicer, things like that, things that you can't move. All right, so the equipment holding and dispensing TCS food must be cleaned and sanitized every day unless otherwise indicated by the manufacturer. You want to check local regulatory authority requirements. Now let's talk about dishwashing machines. All right, high temperature machines. The final sanitizing rinse must be at least 180 degrees and 165 degrees for stationary rack or single temperature machines. Okay, so for the stationary rack or single temperature machines, those are like the one that we have in the classroom, where it's you put it in, you shut the thing, and then it does not move. Other dish machines have ones where it kind of moves like a conveyor belt. Just like, if you think about it, it's just like the stationary one would be like a car wash where you go in, you drive your car in, and then it stays there and gets washed. As to where the move through ones is the one where you put your car in neutral and you just move through each of the sections. All right, chemical sanitizing machines. We want to clean and sanitize. They will clean and sanitize at much lower temperatures, and they want to follow the temperature guidelines provided by the manufacturer. Dishwasher operation are guidelines. We want to clean the machine as often as needed. We want to scrape, rinse, or soak items before washing. We want to use the correct dish racks, never overload our dish racks, and air dry all items. And check with manufacturers' water temperatures and pressure. Let's talk about setting up our 3-compartment sinks. And this is on 810. That's where we are. All right, so we want to clean and sanitize each sink and drain board. We want to fill the first sink with detergent and water that's at least 110 degrees. We want to fill the second sink with clean water, and then fill the third sink with water and sanitizer to the correct concentration, and then provide a clock with a second hand to let food handlers know how long items have been in the sanitizer. So this is our correct setup for our 3-compartment sink station. All right, steps for cleaning and sanitizing in our 3-compartment sink. First, we want to rinse, scrape, or soak items before washing them. Wash items in the first sink. We want to rinse the items in the second sink. Sanitize items in the third sink, and then air dry items on a clean and sanitized surface. All right, let's talk about tableware and equipment. When storing clean and sanitized tableware and equipment, you want to store the items at least 6 inches off the floor. We want to clean and sanitize drawers and shelves before items are stored. And we want to store glasses and cups upside down on a clean and sanitized shelf or rack. We want to store flatware and utensils with handles up. We want to cover the food contact surfaces of stationary equipment until ready for use, and clean and sanitize trays and carts used to carry clean tableware and utensils. Now let's talk about cleaning and sanitizing in the operation. When cleaning the premises, we want to clean non-food contact surfaces regularly. That's including floors, ceilings, walls, and equipment exteriors, meaning the outsides of refrigerators, things like that. We want to prevent dust, dirt, and residue and other debris from building up. So that's why, of course, we want to clean them. We want to clean up after people who got sick. This is important. Diarrhea and vomit in the operation must be cleaned up correctly. It can carry norovirus, which is highly contagious, and the correct cleanup can prevent food from becoming contaminated and keep other people from getting sick. Consider the following when developing a plan for cleaning up vomit and diarrhea. How will you contain the liquid and airborne substances and remove them from the operation? How will you clean, sanitize, and disinfect surfaces? When to throw away food that may have been contaminated? What equipment is needed to clean up these substances, and how it will be cleaned and disinfected after the use? And when a food handler must wear personal protective equipment. How will staff be notified of the correct procedures for containing, cleaning, and disinfecting the substances? How to segregate contaminated areas from other areas, when staff must be restricted from working with or around food or excluded from the operation. How sick customers will be removed quickly from the operation, and how the cleaning plan will be implemented. All right, now we are in storing and cleaning tools. We are on page 1013. All right. So storing and cleaning tools and chemicals. We want to place in separate area away from food and prep areas. The storage area should have good lighting so the chemicals can be easily seen. Utility sink for filling buckets and washing and cleaning tools. Floor drains for dumping any dirty water. And hooks for hanging cleaning tools. Never dump mop water or other liquid and waste into toilets or urinals. We want to clean tools in sinks used for hand washing, prepping food, and dishwashing. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. That sounded weird. We never want to clean tools in sinks that are used for hand washing, food prep, and dishwashing. All right, so our chemicals. We want to only purchase those approved for the use in food service operations. We want to store them in their original containers away from food and food prep areas. And if transferring them to a new container, we want to label it with the common name for the chemical. Again, we're talking about our MSDS sheets. We want to keep those for each chemical. And when throwing out chemicals, follow the instructions on the label and also go along with the local and regulatory authorities or requirements. Okay, developing a cleaning program. To develop an effective cleaning program, you want to create a master cleaning schedule, train your staff to follow it, and then monitor the program to make sure that it works. And this is on 10/15. We want to create a master cleaning schedule to identify what should be cleaned, who should clean it, when should it be cleaned, and how it should be cleaned. So that there's no guesswork. You don't want employees to be like, oh, well, I didn't know how to clean it. You want to make sure that you explain that to them. We want to monitor the cleaning program. So we want to supervise the daily cleaning routines, check cleaning tasks against the master schedule every day, change the master schedule as needed, and ask staff for input on programs. All right, so that is the end. Super excited that we got through all our Servsafe chapters. Again, guys, if you need anything, let me know, and I can't wait to see you guys on Monday. All right, bye.